So, we all think we know cats, don't we? They're mysterious, they're independent, maybe even a little bit sneaky. But what if that's just a story we've been telling ourselves? Today, we're going to dive into the world of cat behaviorist Jackson Galaxy and really decode what our cats are trying to tell us.
I mean, you've heard this a million times, right? It's the classic stereotype. We usually say it as a joke, but this idea that our cats are just these tiny, furry roommates who couldn't care less about us, it actually secretly shapes how we see them. And more importantly, how we react when things go a little sideways.
Well, according to Jackson Galaxy, we absolutely have. His entire philosophy is really built on this one pretty radical idea. Most of the behaviors we label as bad or mean in our cats, they're completely misunderstood. We're judging them by human rules, and in doing that, we're missing the whole point.
So, here's the big shift in thinking we need to make. We have to stop trying to turn our cats into little furry people. The real breakthrough happens when we decide to step into their world, to understand their instincts, and to actually learn to speak their language.
Let me tell you about a cat named Minnie from Galaxy's show My Cat from Hell. Her family was told she was 70% domesticated, but honestly, she lived in constant terror, hiding out in a cluttered woodshop. Anytime her guardian tried to grab her, she'd bite him, so badly he even got cat scratch fever. So, was she a cat from hell? No way. She was just an unsocialized, absolutely terrified animal whose only way to scream, "I'm scared to death," was with her teeth and her claws. To really get why a cat like Minnie acts that way, we have to get to the very root of feline confidence. And Galaxy has a special term for this, and believe me, it is the key to everything. He calls it cat mojo.
Just think of mojo as your cat's inner swagger, you know? It's that feeling of, yeah, I got this. A cat with a lot of mojo feels like the king or queen of their castle. But when that mojo is gone, they feel like a trespasser in their own home. And that's when the fear, the stress, and all those so-called bad behaviors start to take over.
And you can really see the difference laid out here. On one side, you have the confident cat. They're exploring, they feel secure. On the other, you've got the cat without mojo, hiding, anxious. The most important thing to remember is that these aren't two different kinds of cats. They're very often the exact same cat, just living in two totally different states of mind.
Okay, so if a lack of mojo is the problem, what do we do about it? How do we, as their guardians, help them get their swagger back? Well, Galaxy's action plan is built on two really solid foundational pillars. This right here is the first and, honestly, the most powerful pillar. Before you can even think about changing the cat, you have to change their world. It's just not fair to ask a cat to be confident in an environment that makes them feel threatened or totally exposed. Galaxy calls this whole process catification. It's all about looking at your home, not through your own eyes, but through your cat's eyes. What does a cat need to feel confident? They need to feel a sense of ownership. And for a cat, ownership means controlling the vertical world. And this is the core of catification in action, what he calls the cat superhighway. It's basically a path that lets your cat survey their whole territory from up high, just like their wild ancestors would have. You start simple with an on-ramp like a cat tree. Then you build out the road with some basic shelves. The real goal is to create a flow so they can get around the most important parts of the house without ever touching what they see as the danger zone, the floor. Okay, so you've catified the space. That's a huge, huge step. But the second pillar, well, that one is all about you, the human. Your job now is to become a kind of coach, gently pushing your cat to build their confidence by walking a very, very fine line. Galaxy calls this the comfort/challenge line. And it makes so much sense, right? Growth doesn't happen when we're totally comfortable, but it also definitely doesn't happen when we're completely terrified. The real magic happens right on that edge, where safety and challenge meet. Let's go back to that classic picture of a cat hiding under the bed. The all-comfort approach, that's just sliding their food bowl under there. And the result? The cat has absolutely zero reason to ever come out. The all-challenge approach is to just drag them out. And the result of that? You've just confirmed their worst fear that the world is terrifying and they shut down. Neither of those works. The sweet spot is putting the food just outside the bedskirt, challenging them just enough to take one brave step. Now, when you put all of this together, understanding their language, building up their mojo, walking that fine comfort/challenge line, the result is so much more than just fixing a problem. It's about forging a completely different and deeper kind of relationship. Let's go back to Minnie, the so-called feral cat in the woodshop. After weeks of Galaxy and her guardians working to build her mojo, creating a safe space, using those gentle challenges, a breakthrough happened. Her guardian, whose only goal was to be able to comfort her, reached out, and for the very first time, she could pet Minnie. The look on her face, the tears from everyone in that room, that was the real victory. As Jackson Galaxy himself said, watching a terrified animal finally feel safe enough to accept love, there is just no better feeling in the world. That connection, that's the whole point. It's the ultimate reward for everything.
And this incredible bond, this partnership, it isn't just for solving behavioral problems, it's for the entire journey you share with them. Galaxy's own relationship with his cat, Caroline, whom he cared for through a long battle with cancer, shows this in the most profound way possible.
After Caroline passed away, Galaxy didn't just reflect on the pain of losing her, but on this overwhelming feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for the journey, for getting to be her guardian, for teaching her confidence as a kitten, and for being there for her right at the very end. That shared experience, that was the real gift. And that, really, is the final crucial takeaway. Being a true guardian means you have to accept the whole package. The joy, the challenges, the incredible love, and yes, the eventual loss. It means taking that risk to be vulnerable, because the magical connection you get in return is worth every single second. So, the next time your cat scratches the sofa, or hides under the bed, or meows at you like their life depends on it, just take a second. Look past the annoyance for a moment and ask yourself, what are they really trying to say? If you listen with cat ears, you might just be surprised by what you hear.